The Champions League is back on our screens tonight, and this is the first time the WSL has had 3 teams in the Women's Champions League proper before. England are the third nation to have 3 teams in a group stage after Germany in 2021-2022, and that was Wolfsburg, Bayern and Hoffenheim, and France in 2023-2024, and that was Lyon, Paris FC and PSG. Chelsea will be hosting familiar rivals Real Madrid in their first Champions League group stage match.
It's like Groundhog Day.
I was going to say, and we did an at the match, didn't we, for the last Chelsea Real Madrid game? And that was all. How long ago was that? Was that November?
Yeah, it was ages.
Oh my God, time flies. This is the third consecutive season they've faced Madrid in the group stages, with the previous results being 2 draws and 2 wins in Chelsea's favour. So, do we think this is quite promising?
Yeah, I think everyone talks about the most difficult group and the easiest group. I don't think Chelsea have an easy group. I think Chelsea probably have the least difficult group.
Okay.
But it doesn't mean these games are going to necessarily be easy. I would expect them to be able to beat Real Madrid. They're currently second in the table, 5 wins out of 5. But they did make kind of tough work of their qualifiers to get here. So, I'd expect Chelsea. They've had a nice resting period. I know Sonia Bonpastor tried to allude to the fact that not having a game was tricky for them, and that I'm sure it changed it did change their plans, I suppose. But I'm
not going to shed any tears over that one. They just had the weekend off.
They'll also be facing Melanie Leupolz again, so it'll be nice to see her back at the bridge. But I do expect them to win this one. I would also like to put in now next season, should Chelsea finish in the top 3, can we please not have Real Madrid Chelsea again? It's like Wolfsburg Chelsea and Wolfsburg Arsenal. It was just all the time.
There should be teams that are banned from being in the same pot.
We've seen it, been there, done that, got the t-shirt.
For sure. I don't have any concerns actually about Chelsea and Real Madrid. I think there wasn't anything the last time they played, the last time we saw them, that kind of gave me any cause for concern, thinking they're not going to get that. You never know what the Champions League is going to throw up.
It was more Chelsea that, weren't putting the ball away, as opposed to being like, oh God, Real Madrid are overrunning them. But I think we shall see. And I do expect them to get out of the group.
What I would like to see, I think, is more bums on seats at games like that. I think when we arrived at I think it was only about 11,000 people at Stamford Bridge for those games. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see now sort of whether, I don't know, there's more kind of like uptake for...
Well, the problem is that once you go over, I think it's 5,000 at Stamford Bridge, you have to close the roads.
Yeah.
So I think there are times where Chelsea will cap it so that they don't have to do all the road closures and stuff. But it'll be interesting. There could be more interest in the games where they decide it's worth keeping the grounds open, but it can be difficult in a weeknight.
No, but I just think it's like that's what you want, isn't it? Under the lights, Champions League, like the champions, like it's nice. It's a nice vibe.
Is it not?
Ooh, no, the champions.
Yeah, no, they're different songs.
Sonia Bonpastor has won the competition 3 times, twice as a player and once as a manager with former club Lyon. And Lucy Bronze is obviously a 5-time winner. So yeah, I mean, we thought there wasn't any concern before with them winning, and now Lucy Bronze, with all of her Champions League experience, has joined the squad.
She can't win the bloody thing on her own. Come on.
I mean, it's quite nice now they have her Champions League experience, because that is the one elusive trophy that they haven't got. So I feel like, if there's someone who's going to be able to get it over the line this year, it will be Bronze. Yeah, really interesting to see Melanie Leupolz back at Stamford Bridge with Real Madrid this time. Probably to a massive round of applause. I think she'll get quite a nice reception, to be fair. Everyone loves Melanie. She just seems like a really nice character. I don't think I've ever met her. Tomorrow night, Arsenal face Bayern Munich away. They've just come off the back of a 0-0 draw with Everton. How do you reckon they'll be fit? I don't want to dwell on this game because it was boring.
It was such a boring game.
And anyone who watched it doesn't want to have to relive that again. But can we just touch briefly on how Arsenal will be feeling going into a game in the Champions League after having such a pretty dreadful performance at the weekend? I
spoke to Leah Williamson about this post-match, and I asked her, are they going to turn this frustration into fire? And she said, absolutely. Like, that this result is going to have really bothered them, the fact that they couldn't get it over the line, and they need to be able to take that and turn it into fuel. I do think it's going to be a very different type of game. I don't think Bayern are going to necessarily bank up in the way that Everton did, particularly in the second half. Although, like, if I was a team coming up against Arsenal, I'd be like, feck it, we'll just like park the bus. They won't be able to get through. It seems to be a real problem for them.
Literally that. If we just stay here, Arsenal will come to the front door and knock, and then run. It'll be like knock down ginger of strikers. That is the only way to describe the Arsenal back. Like,
just
front
don't
line
open the door and they'll go away. They'll give it to someone else.
Literally, it's like trick or treating, turn the lights off. It's that kind of vibe.
The difference is I do think Bayern will come at them, and we saw the difference when they played Manchester City. Very different type of game. They were creating opportunities, but it's the question of putting the bloody ball in the back of the goddamn net. And I think they keep trying to walk the ball into the goal. And I said it before the second leg of the Häcken game, they need somebody to shoot from outside the box, and Leah Velti did it. There's enough players in that squad that can just have a pop at shots. There's a fear of missing now, and it's almost like players are like, well, I don't want to be the one to take the shot in case I miss, so you do it. And there's a lot of that. So yeah, I think they could really do with the win, because they're facing Chelsea at the weekend, and I think it's really important for them to get their Champions League group stage up and running. But I also think, I mean, they have a tough group. They've got Juventus as well, but they should get out at least in first or second. But
be
it's going to be
greedy
difficult.
like that. Like, be greedy with the shots. Like, I mean, we kind of saw glimmers of it in the first game of the season against Man City, and I feel like I just thought maybe that was a bit of rust. It's, you know, summer coming back in, but you know, you've been to Australia 17 times this summer. But at the same time,
You're living on a different time zone.
yeah, I was like trying to find excuses, but like we're now 3 weeks in, and it just feels like we're seeing the same pattern, and everyone keeps like shoving blame at Jonas Eidevall's door, and I don't think that is fair.
There is an element of blame. He's not getting the best out of the players. You're putting Caitlin Ford in fucking defence, for God's sake. Rosa Kafaji was on the bench. Do you know what I mean? There's a player who can help you break things down.
There's some criticism, but at the end of the day,
he cannot put the ball in the back of the net. And if they're creating the chances, the players have to take some of that responsibility.
All day. Like, I don't understand how you can not deliver when balls are being given to you and you know where the net is. Like, I can't get it. So please do better for the Bayern Munich game. Arsenal actually
Pressure.
yeah, no pressure, but just do better. Just do better for us all.
I don't know if anyone's actually said it to you, but if you could just do better.
If you could just raise it, you know,
That's
probably
such
about,
a great tip.
I'd say 17%.
Teen or
17%.
T?
Yeah,
17%.
17%.
Oh, I'm
you don't want to go in full
70.
throttle at the start of the season. You want to lead up
Say
to
fuck it, go for it.
Yeah, I'd say 17%.
I say 70.
Wow, pretty harsh from you. Elsewhere, Man City welcomed the reigning European champions Barcelona at a sold-out Joy Stadium. They last faced Barcelona in 2020. We've had to wait 3 years, sorry, my maths is shocking, for this moment where they were knocked out by them in the quarter-final stage. I mean, Rach, you go into that game. Can you get there?
I'm going to Munich at the crack arse of dawn tomorrow, so that's going to be but this is going to be such an exciting game. Like, imagine being out of the Champions League for a little while and then going, oh cool, our first game back is just Barcelona. Can you imagine? I'm excited. I think, you know, it's great in terms of Man City being back in the Champions League. They've got themselves an absolute blockbuster of a game
All day.
Some worry, the concern for me is maybe in the midfield. I think that kind of worries me slightly in terms of that defensive side of things. They're going to have to play quicker football at the back, pass it around the back quicker, because Barca are going to put them under an awful lot of pressure, but also a really good litmus test for them.
Okay.
And I also think, looking at their group, I would hope that they would get out of that group perhaps in second. If not, I mean, if first, amazing.
For sure.
But hopefully being able to get out of that group would be key.
100%. And I think Man City, they do have the potential to cause upset here. I mean, that would be, can you imagine Man City winning over Barcelona? Can you imagine that?
Not really.
But I just think, I mean, obviously, like, for the fans, like, that's such a beautiful moment as well, having the likes of, you know, Alexia Putellas, Bonmati, like, coming over and playing in the Joy Stadium in Manchester.
In the Joy Stadium,
like,
I love it.
Like, in the baby stadium.
There's the Etihad, we're not in there. But you can see it from here, so don't be greedy.
For sure. And it is still like a 20,000 capacity stadium, something like that, 15, 20?
Oh, I thought it was 12, but it depends whether they open the standing areas and stuff.
Oh, God,
I don't know what
they'd have
UEFA
to, surely. Yeah, really, really. There was a part of me that was like, I should probably go up to that.
And what did that part of you say?
It's really expensive to get to Manchester. It's about a £400 train ticket at this stage.
It's about bog standard for Manchester,
I could probably just wait for the Barcelona fixture.
You could fly.
Yeah, literally that. Who are we backing this year as tournament favourites? Do we think it will be an English side finally, or is that just really wishful stupid thinking.
No, I think, look, we've got a better chance now that there are 3 of them.
We've got a dream
to get further, right? So, like, surely the odds have to have increased. If all 3 teams get out of their groups, again, you know, getting an English team in the final would be unreal. I still think Barca are the favourites. I still think Lyon are right on up there. They're banging in the goals. So it would be amazing to get an English team to the final, if not the semi-finals. But there's a lot of exciting teams in and around that are maybe little potential banana skins.
Banana skin, or Paris FC vibes, that kind of thing.
Yeah, like, I mean, Roma are exciting, but God, they're in a tough group against Lyon and Wolfsburg. Bayern as well, they're top of the table, unbeaten
100%.
in Germany. Juventus have impressed. They knocked out PSG. They're top of their league as well. I mean, Hammarby are an exciting one to see.
Yep.
To be in the Champions League, and they won their first Damallsvenskan title in 38 years, and then qualified for the UWCL. So it's like quite an exciting time for them. But their season is pretty much almost over now. So will that stand to them? Will they be, you know, more warmed up and ready to go? I'm excited to see their fans. But there's lots of teams that are like have exciting little stories around them.
Yeah, definitely. I think if anyone's going to do it this year in terms of like an English perspective, I think Chelsea.
Yeah.
I mean, Arsenal at the moment are the only English team to have won the tournament, and that was back in 2007 when some of you might not have even been born. So, yeah.
Really?
Yeah, 2007.
Oh my God.
No country has had more losing semi-finalists than England. What a lovely stat. It was the stat that you didn't know you needed.
Who came up
that
with
one.
that stat?
12 is the actual stat.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well done.
I think Chelsea and Arsenal have the best chance of getting to the semi-final. I'm very concerned about the City-Barcelona early matchup.
Yeah, but they can come second in the group.
Yeah, they can. Yeah, they can do that. Yeah. That's just my take.
I'm going to go semi-finals.
All 3 of them.
Well, maybe not Arsenal,
They
but
can all face each other and knock each other out.
well, oh my God, could you imagine an all-English semi-final? You should know you get one of them in the final.
The worst thing is you still have to fly them to another country to have the final. Which team do we think will be the dark horses? You kind of already answered that.
Yeah,
as maybe like Hammarby or so.
No, I don't think Hammarby. Probably not. I mean,
Hammarby for winners.
Maybe like Juventus. That's hard to know. Even who, you're talking dark horses, and these teams are like top of their leagues. But I feel like England teams could be considered
the
dark horses.
Yeah, we are the dark horses
as opposed to the outright favourites. Jesus, I'm not going to get. If they can get through to the semi-finals, I think that'd be amazing.
Arsenal is a dark horse.
Arsenal's the dark horse
if they find the back of the net.